Wow, what a crowd this morning. So glad that you're joining us. On behalf of the Chamber team and myself, thank you for joining us for the annual State of the City event. I was told that today is a triple threat. It's a beautiful day, it's Friday, and it's Chamber of Commerce Day that is good to do business right here in Dubuque. We're excited to hear from the mayor here in just a few minutes. Before we do that, a few housekeeping measures. I want to shout out to my team, the best chamber team in my opinion in all the land, and just because I'm biased does not mean it's not the truth. Those can coexist. We have Claire Bear Gill, we have Sully the Teddy Bear, the Chamber Teddy Bear Suite, Justice Paradiso, Jason the Dude Henkel, Kurt Keeper, the Goat Daddy, and our own Spice Girl Mel C. Let's give them a round of applause. Also with us, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize board members, and there's a lot of them here. So I'm gonna read your names quickly. If you just wave, you're welcome to stand as well to your adoring fans. We have our very own chair, Brian Rakestraw. We have Steve Davis, Jim Pullen. We also have Paul Cronogy, Drew Townsend, Todd Dalsing, Mike Fortman, Cheryl Sykes, Chad Walbers, and Wendy Rundy. Everybody wave to the crowd. Let's give a round of applause to Chamber board members. Last and certainly not least, our elected officials that are here with us today, Anderson Sansey from Dubuque Community School District. Thank you, Anderson. We have Rick Jones from the City Council. Of course, our one and only mayor, Mr. Brad Kavanaugh. And of course, my favorite county supervisor, Harley Podol. So before we begin, State of the City. It happens every year in September about this time. Often following, well, not often, every time following the goal-setting session, which just transpired this past week. We're anxious to hear what the mayor has to say about the state of our city, but I, again, would be remiss if I didn't mention the Chamber is a pro-business organization. We're a nonpartisan organization. Our role is to represent business interest to government. We are to inform and educate, and we're also here to create access. So that is our role here today, and we hope that you take all of those to heart as you listen to the mayor's address. Also, at the end of the event, the mayor will be available to pull aside and talk about more subjects or topics that you will hear about today if you're interested. So he will stick around after the event. So let's get started. Brad Kavanaugh was elected mayor of Dubuque in 2021 after serving on the city council representing the 4th Ward. A Dubuque native, Brad is a small business owner and a social worker with over 20 years of experience. He holds degrees in social work from the University of Iowa and St. Louis University and previously taught at Loras College. Deeply involved in the community, Brad has served on numerous local boards and initiatives and is currently president of the Iowa League of Cities and an active member of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Please join me in welcoming our mayor, Brad Kavanaugh.
A little disappointed. I thought I was going to have the walk-up music. I heard it. There's no walk-up music? That's okay. Well, welcome, everybody. How was breakfast? Excellent. That's good. Are we good, Felicia? Yeah? Okay. Yep. I'm hearing a buzz. We got a buzz. Is it bad in the headphones? Okay, perfect. All right. Excellent. So I'll just keep going then. Well, thank you, everyone, for being here for Dubuque's 2025 State of the City Address. I do have prepared remarks, so I'll read those this morning. I won't be quite as off the cuff as I am sometimes. I'm very excited to know that so many great people in our community are taking such an interest in everything that's happening in our city. I mean, the fact that we packed this room today says the most about you, and I appreciate that very much. So as I always do, I want to take a moment to thank some very important people and groups for a few seconds here. So first, please help me in thanking the Hotel Julian staff for their excellent service this morning. This is always such a wonderful place to have this event, so thank you. Next, please join me in thanking the Dubuque Area Chamber of Commerce for hosting us again this year. Molly and everyone at the Chamber, thank you for your continuing partnership in making this event possible every year and for all of the great events that bring us together throughout the year. As always, I want to thank every single public servant in the City of Dubuque staff. The dedicated people who work for our City of Dubuque government are your neighbors, they're your friends, they're your family members, and they are the ones who keep Dubuque running and thriving every single day. And as a Dubuque resident and as the mayor, I'm eternally grateful for their work. So let's give them a hand, please. Along with city staff, we have committed residents who serve on city boards and commissions, many of whom are here in this room, and countless numbers of volunteers who serve the community in so many different ways. So thank you as well to all of them. So let's give them a hand too, please. I always want to make sure to mention some particular City of Dubuque staff members who I see the most, and in some weeks, like this one, I see them more than my own family. This includes City Manager Mike Van Milligan, Assistant City Manager Corey Burbach, City Clerk Adrian Breitfelder, City Attorney Krenna Brumwell, Public Information Officer Randy Gale, and for at least a little while longer, Strategic Partnerships Liaison Terry Goodman. Thank you to each of you for helping me as I've prepared these remarks and for helping me serve to the best of my ability as mayor. Of course, I offer a very special thank you to my City Council colleagues, Rick Jones, David Resnick, Susan Farber, Laura Roussel, Danny Sprank, and Katie Wethel. Once again this year, I want to let everyone know a very important truth. Our City Council is one of the most... Justine's phone's going off, everybody. That was my walk-up music. So I'll just let you imagine what the walk would have looked like with music like that. So once again this year, I want to let everyone know a very important truth. Our City Council is one of the most dedicated, compassionate, and professional groups of people that I have ever worked with. And I believe this, that they are one of the best city councils in the entire state. So please help me thanking them for their service to the Dubuque community. I'm also incredibly thankful for the partnerships that we share with our elected and appointed officials in Dubuque County, in the state of Iowa, and in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. These partnerships are essential to everything we do here in Dubuque, and I'm grateful to each of these individuals for their service. And then finally, I like to embarrass her every time I get the chance. I want to thank my lovely wife, Jennifer, who's here with us today, and our sons, Sam and Andrew, along with my extended family and those that I'm lucky enough to call my friends. Their support in this time of service in my life is unending and steadfast, and I'm so incredibly thankful for it. So thank you. All right, I got your clapping hands warmed up, so I'm expecting applause every 2 minutes or so. Just keep that in mind as we go. Well, as I stand here before you today, I can happily and confidently report that the state of our city is strong. And before I dig into all the reasons why I know this to be true, I want to say one more thank you, and that's to all of you. The true reason for the continued strength of our city is you and all of the people who call Dubuque home. Without everyone working together to make Dubuque the best place to live, none of the successes I'm about to describe would be possible. So, thank you for all that you do, all you have done, and all you'll continue to do to make Dubuque a true masterpiece. Throughout our time together this morning, I will outline the many successes that we've experienced this past year. I'll also outline the path before us in the year ahead. As Molly mentioned, just last night, the Dubuque City Council completed our annual goal setting, and it will come as no surprise to anyone that we have much work ahead of us to keep building on our continuing success as a city. I'd like to begin by discussing how we can continue to make Dubuque one of the safest cities in the United States. As we've done in each of my years as mayor, the City Council has once again made public safety a top priority in the year ahead. This prioritization has been particularly important for our nationally accredited police department, which has helped Dubuque experience a 44% reduction in overall crime from 2015 to 2024, and boasts a crime clearance rate, which is also known as crimes solved, of crimes against property of 91%, while the national rate stands at a mere 13%. Despite this incredible success, Dubuque, like too many other cities in our country, continues to struggle with recruitment and retention of police officers. In our continuing work to get to full staffing, the City Council approved the creation this year of the Precision Policing Center. Now fully operational, this addition is introducing significant operational efficiencies that allow our police officers to better serve and protect our community. The center is improving response times, enhancing situational awareness for officers in critical incidents, supporting officers as they investigate crimes, and using real-time data to prevent crime from happening. I applaud the innovative approaches proposed by our police department like this, as well as our critical incident team, community-oriented policing, and more. This innovation is helping us keep the city safe despite the serious hiring challenges that we continue to experience. But we know there's still more work we can do to fill those positions and get our police department to full strength. That is why the City Council has once again prioritized full staffing for this department, and this year added the goal of facility enhancements at our Dubuque Law Enforcement Center building. We heard from our officers loud and clear that improvements to their headquarters are a necessary component in recruitment and retention, and the city will work diligently this year toward those improvements. Another essential pillar of public safety in our nationally accredited is our nationally accredited fire department. Following the addition of a new ladder truck and a fire engine in recent years, we added 2 new ambulances into service this past year. We also continue to work to make the daily service experience of our firefighters better. We continue to upgrade and improve the gear that each of our firefighter paramedics wears to more modern and safe materials that are free from harmful chemicals like PFAS. And at the same time, we've budgeted for important facility upgrades at our fire stations that include new HVAC improvements, bunkhouse improvements, bathroom remodels, and more. These important amenities that our firefighter paramedics need to serve us to the best of their ability. While this progress is laudable, there's very important work to do for our fire department in the years ahead. That is why we've prioritized both fire department staffing and a comprehensive look at our fire station locations again this year. We've heard from our fire chief and her entire team that we must modernize our department's staffing model and optimize the geographic location of our city's fire stations in order to keep our community as safe as possible. In the year ahead, the city will tackle these topics head on. And finally, on the topic of public safety, we will soon celebrate the ribbon cutting of our brand new state-of-the-art 911 center in the Bright Minds campus on our city's west side. This collaborative effort between the City of Dubuque, Dubuque County, and Dubuque Initiatives has created a new home for one of the most important assets, the first responders to our calls for help. This exciting change has been years in the making, and I thank everyone involved in making it a reality. As we turn our attention to economic development, I'm very pleased and excited to report that our list of successes is long. To begin with some perspective, Greater Dubuque Development Corporation has set a goal of reaching $1 billion in total commercial and residential construction in Dubuque County by 2027. From July 2022 to today, construction has already reached over $950 million. And in fiscal year 25, the City of Dubuque saw a 70% increase in building permit revenue over the previous year. Given all that we are seeing in Dubuque, everywhere you look, this is no surprise. When businesses and GDDC came forward and told our community we needed 1,100 more housing units to catch up to the serious demand in housing for workers, families, retired Dubuquers, and everyone else, the City Council passed new incentives and housing developers showed up. We now have over 2,600 new housing units in some phase of construction all over the city. This means housing on the west side, housing on the south side, housing in the north end, housing downtown, housing on Central, and everywhere in between. This is a major success for our city. Speaking of Central, City Council has once again prioritized the revitalization efforts along this important centerpiece in our community. Already we are seeing significant housing and commercial development in long abandoned buildings along this corridor. Soon we'll be turning our attention to the physical streetscape to beautify and improve this area and help it reach its long-awaited potential. Not far from Central, we see incredibly exciting new hotspots rising from Chaplain Schmidt Island. Within the next few months, we'll all be enjoying new rooftop views from the Key Hotel, and not too far into next year, we'll be enjoying outdoor shows in the beautiful new Iowa Amphitheater. Heading downtown, we received historic news this year that the University of Dubuque will begin the first medical school in Iowa in 125 years, right in the heart of our downtown, with the John and Alice Butler College of Osteopathic Medicine. And just a couple of blocks away, around the same time, will sit a brand new Dubuque Museum of Art. This will be a wonderful addition to our downtown. Add that to the already budgeted $25 million renovation to Five Flags Center, modernized parking technology throughout downtown, and new commercial spaces in new developments, and we truly have a downtown that will be transformed for the future. With this in mind, the City Council heard the call from dedicated community members who are investing so much time, talent, and money into this downtown transformation. It's time for a full downtown master plan, and the City Council has made this another priority in the year ahead. We aren't done with economic development yet, because not too far down the road from our downtown sits a little place that you might have heard about recently, the Field of Dreams. With over 650 youth baseball teams that traveled here this summer, a brand new Major League Baseball stadium to be ready by next year, a youth baseball complex coming online soon, and the fact that 35,000 people gathered over one weekend last month for back-to-back concerts. It is crystal clear. The Field of Dreams is a transformational project for our entire region. And with the momentum surrounding the Field of Dreams and the love of sports here in Dubuque, it's also time to add another transformational project to the list. With the growing excitement around sports and recreation facilities and the conversation about the need for a Dubuque sports complex becoming louder and clearer, the City Council has made sports complex development a priority this year. The need and desire for one or more facilities like this is clear in our city, and I look forward to exploring public-private partnerships that could make this dream a reality in the years ahead. Given all that I have listed here, and adding to that the expansion of childcare in our region, the expansion projects for individual businesses and manufacturers, and other development that reaches beyond Dubuque's borders, the next topic that we need to cover takes on even more importance. To begin my discussion of that topic, I want to repeat something that I said in this speech last year, and that's this: 80 miles. 80 miles is how far a Dubuquer would have to drive right now to get on an airplane if we lose service again. 80 miles is how far someone would have to drive to get to Dubuque for business, for education, for vacation, to visit family and visit friends. This is unacceptable. To say that the people of Dubuque should just be fine with losing air service is unacceptable, and we should not stand for it. As of today, there is still only one other metropolitan statistical area in the United States where a person has to drive as far as a Dubuquer to get on a plane if we don't have one right here in Dubuque, and that's the little Air Force town of Del Rio, Texas. I'm going to repeat that. We are one of two places in the United States that would have to travel as far as we have to travel to get on an airplane if we lose air service. 80 miles is unacceptable, and the people of Dubuque are not second-class citizens in the United States. We deserve air service. Yesterday, I received an email that Andy Butler, executive chairperson at Cottingham and Butler, sent to community members. And I want to share with you what he said on this topic of air service. He said, taking a longer-term view, any successful growing city with ambitions to be better, more inviting, that wants to attract more new people to our community in addition to bringing in more visitors, must have successful commercial air service. By using our Denver Air Connection, you can play a key role in making Dubuque a better place to live and play. So I ask, do we want to be better? Do we want to be inviting? Do we want to attract new people and visitors? The Field of Dreams, Dubuque Museum of Art, John and Alice Butler School of Osteopathic Medicine, the National Mississippi River Museum and Aquarium, a Dubuque Sports Complex, John Deere, Cottingham and Butler, Simmons Foods, UD, Loras College, Clark University, Emmaus, Wartburg, Mercy One Medical Center, Unity Point Finley Hospital, Medical Associates. If we want everything on the list that I just read and everything that I didn't list to thrive and survive in our city, then air service is essential to our future. We have it right now, and we must fight like hell to keep it. This will absolutely be a priority for our city council again this year, and the council will continue the hard work of partnering with other dedicated community leaders to fund and fight for increased air service at our Dubuque Regional Airport in every way that we can. This is what Dubuque needs, and it's what Dubuquers deserve, and we refuse to give up. Another area of focus this year, and once again in the year ahead, is on infrastructure. In our beautiful oldest city in Iowa, our work on everything that holds the city together above the ground and below never ceases, and this year has been no exception. The most visible aspect of this work, for most of us, is the roads on which we all travel. You're all well aware that construction season is still in full swing, and I'm proud of the work that we have been able to accomplish this year. For yet another year, the city of Dubuque was able to resurface more miles of road than originally planned, and I'm excited to report that by the end of the construction season, we'll have overlaid nearly 10 miles of surface on 42 different city streets. The City Council will once again keep street maintenance and resurfacing as a priority next year and continue to explore ways to take on the even bigger street reconstruction projects in the years ahead. One of those major projects that will be a specific priority in this coming year is the East-West Corridor project. After being forced to delay this project following several years of planning and design, it's high time to get this back on track. This project will move forward with the reconstruction of streets and addition of roundabouts along University Avenue between Pennsylvania and Delhi, and stay tuned for much more public discussion on this project in the months ahead. Along with the reintroduction of this project to the list, the city continues to move forward with the 14th Street Overpass project and several other projects around town. We will also see several Iowa DOT-led projects in the weeks and years ahead that will further improve our ability to travel in Dubuque safely and efficiently. Another infrastructure issue impacting safety more and more is the issue of flooding. While our city has invested heavily over the years with city, state, and federal funds to address this issue, our changing climate and more frequent severe weather continues to challenge us with flooding every year, and we even just experienced that again this week. This year, we were finally able to kick off one of the major projects left in the Bee Branch Watershed Flood Mitigation Project, the new gate and pump station on the 16th Street Detention Basin. This is a critical piece of the Bee Branch puzzle that will more efficiently pump floodwaters beyond our flood wall. Projects that remain include storm sewer reconstruction on Kaufman Avenue, Locust and 17th Street, 17th and Elm, and in several neighborhood locations around the city. The City Council has prioritized investment in these stormwater projects to do all we can to move them forward. This will take much planning and even more funding, so we must work carefully with our federal and state partners to get this work done. We also continue very important work on drinking water infrastructure throughout the city. This past year, we budgeted and began the work on a new deep well that will allow us to further decrease the level of PFAS contamination in our drinking water. Now, I want to make it very clear that our drinking water met all state and federal water quality requirements and had no drinking water violations in 2024. But even so, this work is still the right thing to do to ensure ongoing water quality. I want to make sure to say what I've said before, that it is an injustice that any of this work falls on the backs of local taxpayers. But it's work that must be done nonetheless. We must keep advocating for increased federal funding and efforts to hold guilty international companies accountable for contaminating our water in the first place. Another important water project you're experiencing right now, if you drive almost anywhere in the North End, is our lead line replacement program. Although the city already uses a safe process to keep lead from getting into our water from lead lines that lead to homes, completely replacing such lead lines is truly the most effective way to ensure drinking water remains lead-free. We're happy to have this opportunity through federal funding to complete this very important work. The final topic in the area of infrastructure is the least sexy of all of them, and that's our sewers. It's interesting when I talk to other mayors all over the United States, how many of them mention that they have challenges with sewer capacity. It comes as no surprise to them that we've encountered similar challenges here in Dubuque. This past year, we learned from the Iowa DNR that their concerns about our sanitary sewer capacity along our Catfish Creek sewer shed. And due to these concerns, they would need to work more closely with us on future development in this area until sewer capacity is upgraded. Though some rumors traveled quickly that claimed this challenge might meant that all development would cease along the sewer shed, I assure you those were only rumors. The city has already worked with the Iowa DNR to approve and renew permits in this sewer shed, and the city will continue to work directly with developers to shepherd development along in this area. Thankfully, the City Council has already been investing heavily in sewer capacity improvements for years, which puts us in a position where we will see major improvements in capacity by the end of the next calendar year. The most visible of these improvements today is the Old Mill Road lift station, currently under construction. With the completion of this project and the subsequent upgrading of outdated and undersized pipes and several other projects, any capacity issues will be a thing of the past. Other sewer-related work continues at our Water and Resource Recovery Center. We will continue investment in odor mitigation efforts, improved processes to keep equipment functioning most efficiently, and in fully recovering from the explosion that occurred in December of 2024. All told, the city's investment in and attention to our critical infrastructure demonstrates a responsible and comprehensive approach to managing the foundational and essential needs of our city's built environment. Now, public safety, economic development, and infrastructure are all necessary components of any good city, but if that's the only focus that we have, it's a pretty boring place to live. So in this past year and in the year ahead, the City of Dubuque has focused heavily on our city's parks and natural spaces to further enhance the quality of life for our residents and visitors alike. Throughout this past year, the City Parks and Recreation Department has embarked on a listening tour that has covered every corner of our community to gather residents' opinions on everything from parks to pools. This comprehensive study of what residents need and desire from our Parks and Recreation Division will now become an official Parks and Recreation Master Plan that will prioritize and guide the work in the years ahead to beautify and improve our many wonderful parks. The work ahead will include everything from the second phase of construction in North End's Comiskey Park to improvements at pools and trails, and of course, the crown jewel of our park system, Eagle Point Park. While much of the work ahead has yet to be fully identified and prioritized, we have made strides already this past year with several park projects. After getting clear community feedback during our budget hearings in April, the City Council added an additional maintenance position to Eagle Point Park this fiscal year. Still upcoming this fall, visitors to the park will see obvious improvements in cleanup, beautification, and newly laid sidewalks to access several buildings. There are so many opportunities and possibilities to make Eagle Point Park even more beautiful than it is today, and the work ahead will offer residents new ways to get directly involved in this work together. Along with work at our major parks, we have added new parks directly in neighborhoods with the help of housing developers and funds committed from the American Rescue Plan Act. These neighborhood parks continue our great tradition of offering places to play and relax right in our own backyard parks, no matter where we live in Dubuque. After all the accomplishments and plans that I've listed here today, it might be tempting to assume that you live in a city with the highest taxes and worst debt of anywhere in Iowa. After all, how could we possibly pay for all this? Well, the answer is responsibly. Despite this long list of everything we're accomplishing together, this fiscal year we will once again have the lowest city property tax rate among the 11 largest cities in Iowa. And our city's statutory debt holds steady at 34% of the limit that is allowed, giving us the 5th lowest debt of Iowa's 11 largest cities. Dubuque's fiscally responsible approach continues to be recognized by national associations and rating agencies. In November, the Government Finance Officers Association again awarded the City of Dubuque the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its fiscal year 2025 budget. This is the 19th consecutive year that Dubuque has received the award. This year's honor also comes with special recognition for strategic goals and strategies, which is granted when a presentation receives the highest possible score from each of the reviewers. Reviewers noted the city's strategic plan is detailed and transparent, identifying relevant departments for individual goals. In January, Moody's Ratings assigned a AA2 rating to 3 series of general obligation bonds the City of Dubuque subsequently issued to fund approximately $24 million in improvement projects. Moody's ratings range on a scale from AAA, which is the highest, to C, which is the lowest, with 19 different designations in between. This assigned rating maintains Dubuque's existing AA2 rating, which is the third highest possible rating. And just recently, as required by state law, independent certified public accountants not affiliated with the city of Dubuque conducted an audit of the city's fiscal year 24 financial statements, which returned an unmodified opinion, better known as a clean audit. I mention all of this to make sure you know that not only do you live in a great city with great things happening, but those great things are happening in a fiscally responsible way. This list of accomplishments from this year and the plans for the years ahead are rooted in planning, partnerships, and people. With this spirit of cooperation in mind, I'd like to close today with a direct appeal to each one of you and to everyone who calls Dubuque home. We're living through a pivotal time in our country's history. In just this past year, we have witnessed shocking acts of political violence. Last year, we saw two separate attempts on the life of President Trump, one at a political rally in Pennsylvania and another at a golf course in Florida. In April this year, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and his family were forced to escape the governor's mansion after a man threw an explosive device into the home and set it on fire. In June, Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were assassinated in their home, and the state senator John Hoffman and his wife were wounded by a shooter disguised as a police officer. Just this month, political activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed in front of his family and hundreds of college students during a debate on a college campus. Just this week, we witnessed another politically motivated act of domestic terrorism in Dallas, Texas. Sadly, no community in our country is immune to the potential of such violence. We learned this ourselves in March, when a man who was angry at our police department and the city council and suffering from a serious mental health episode attempted to enter our city council chambers with a loaded gun as dozens of community members were seated inside to receive proclamations. I'm still shaken when I think about that and what might have happened had our brave police officers not intervened immediately that night. We're living in a time when conservative news sources speak about Democrats as enemies, and liberal news sources speak about Republicans as enemies, and national leaders openly talk about hating their opponents in nationally televised speeches. This brings me to my appeal to you. We cannot and must not allow these perilous tendencies in our national politics to permeate our deep sense of community in Dubuque. Our sense of community is the very foundation of the incredible legacy that we've built here in our city. We cannot and we must not allow the national erosion of American values that we hold dear tear us apart. Those values of compassion, kindness, care for our neighbor, pride in our community and our country, ingenuity, and a steady hand pointed toward generational progress. Most importantly, we cannot and we must not allow the erosion of civility in our public discourse here at home. We do not build community by tearing each other down. We build community through cooperation, care for one another, building partnerships, and locking arms to form the deep bonds that give us the courage and the fortitude to meet our challenges head on together. Today, I ask each of you to recommit yourselves to building community and building on Dubuque's legacy. I ask you to consider what you can do for your community to bring out the very best in Dubuque. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I have never been more excited to be a Dubuquer than I am right now. Our next steps as a community together will shape Dubuque for generations to come. Thank you, all of you, for the role you will continue to play in our city's future in the year ahead. May God bless you all, and may God bless the great city of Dubuque. Thank you.
Grab my notes. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you everyone for being here this morning. If you want to continue, and we encourage you to continue to be part of the conversation, get informed, educated, because an informed and educated business community member helps you make decisions when you vote. And that is what we're here for today. Remind you our role, nonpartisan. So we have a cocktails and candidates next Wednesday at Convivium from 5:30 to 7. All the candidates and incumbents are invited. And that will be another opportunity for the chamber to represent business interests to government, inform and educate, and provide you access to elected officials. So if you want more information, give us a call, go to our website, see Claire at the end of the event. Remind everyone that the mayor is available for conversation following this event. And I would be remiss because I forgot an important order of business, which is to recognize our sponsors. We can't do what we do without their support. Our organization is funded $0 by government, and so their support matters immensely. Our ultimate sponsors, Diamond Joe Casino, Hotel Julian Dubuque. If you didn't do the bacon, you didn't do it right. Medical Associates Clinic and Health Plans, Midwest One Bank, Q Casino and Resort, TH Media, and UMB. Our platinum sponsors, 1-800-T-Shirts, Anderson Window and Door, Digital Dubuque, Fidelity Bank and Trust, John Deere Dubuque Works, Kodiak Creative, Mercy One, Queen Bee Radio, Radio Dubuque, Unity Point Finley Hospital. Let's give our sponsors a round of applause. On behalf of our board chair, Brian Rakestraw with Q Casino and Resort, and the chamber team, who I love dearly, thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend, and remember, it's a Chamber of Commerce Day. Thank you.